Hello. You are live streaming The Missing. We are a new channel coming online that is going to examine missing persons all over the United States and eventually the world. We will take a case every week and we will review it. Some cases may be old, some cases may be new. If you have a case that you would like us to look into, just leave it in the comments. The Missing live stream today, we're going to discuss in our premiere episode Suzanne Morphew. That's Morphew. We hope to have a group of citizens, web sleuths sort of, that will put their heads together, develop leads that we can follow up on, maybe even turn over to the police and help solve these missing person cases. First, a little bit about me. I am a retired detective from the southeastern United States. I did 33 years in law enforcement. I spent over 20 years of investigation. I've worked homicide, robbery, rape task force, mostly narcotics. I was actually in charge of narcotics for a period of time. I have worked missing person cases. Some have turned out good and people have been found safe. Others were not so safe. They've ended up deceased. So, in hopes we can develop leads for every case we examine by people at home, people on the computer that have time to look up things, to research, to want to be inquisitive. I would say 90% or better, maybe as high as 99% or better, of cases are solved by witnesses or people that know something about the crime or the missing person. I know that out there somewhere in every missing person case, somebody knows something. Maybe they're afraid to go to the police and tell their side of the story. Maybe they think it's silly. That might not have been the person I saw, or that might not have been the situation that I thought I saw. But I think everyone that sees something that they don't understand, or maybe they see somebody being pulled into a car and they think it's just a joke, needs to call the police and tell them about it. So any information that we gather through here, on our website here, on our live stream, that we believe could be a missing person alert or maybe something the police need to know about, we will forward that to the proper authorities. Now, I'm going to just start with a little information about the investigation of the missing person, Suzanne Morphew. Susan went missing on May 10th, 2020. That was Mother's Day. Now, there's a lot of people covering this online. There is the Chaffee County is where she was missing from. A little town called Maysville. The county is Maysville, Colorado. Chaffee County, or Chaffee County. She was reported to take a bike ride and on Mother's Day while her husband was on a landscaping job. He owned his own company in Denver. And her girls, one juvenile and I think one's adult girls, were coming to the house off a trip. So she went out for a bike ride. And sometime later, she didn't show up when her kids showed up at home, is the information that I have. And she was reported missing to the police. The police found her bike about a mile from her house, and I'm going to try to pull up a map here of the place that. This is our first episode now, so y'all give me some leeway here, but a map of here if I can get it to come up. That's odd, it won't do it. But what it was, they actually, well, I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties here, but I'll get those worked out as these live streams continue. Hope I'll be able to show her at least. Well, I'll tell you. Well, I'll work it out here in a minute. But she went on a bike ride about a mile from her house. Now, her bike was found near a drop-off down a cliff. Not really a cliff. It was just a real steep drop-off. And there's been many people that have researched this. YouTubers. There's a YouTube channel called I believe it's the Plunder. She's done an outstanding job of reporting on this. Also, there's a YouTuber named Tyson Draper, which he's done a great job at reporting on this. In fact, he got out on the roadway, the gravel road where she was missing from, and actually talked to Barry Morphew, the husband of the missing person, and he said a lot of stuff. I'm gonna just pull up. You're gonna see my ugly face here for a second. There's the map. There's the map that of the place, the trailhead, and Highway 50 and Road 225. And it was close to her house, about a mile. It's not like in the woods, but Tyson Draper ran into Barry, the husband of the missing person, and several things that caught me that I saw right away from him, just as a police officer looking at subject telling his story, was that he was not emotionally upset. I mean, if my wife had been missing, I don't care how long she'd been missing, I'd be a little bit emotionally upset. He said the bike was found by the deputies, and that he blamed the deputies for messing up the scene. He blamed the deputies for letting everybody touch the bike, which I don't know that to be true. He also threw out the theory that a mountain lion might have took her, and a mountain lion was supposedly seen in the area by deputies prior to them finding the bike. But I think if a mountain lion would have took her, there would have been some evidence of a struggle, and I don't know that a mountain lion would have took her far enough away that they wouldn't have recovered some type of clothing or some type of evidence. He also threw it out that she might have been abducted, and that is always a possibility. He said, too, something that I thought was strange. He said a friend of his, that Army Ranger, had done 400 tours in Iraq. I think it was 400 tours. That's quite a bit. I've not known anybody that do anything like that. I'm gonna close this out, and you're gonna see me just for a second. And I'm gonna show you another picture here. This is me with my headset on. This is actually the interview that her husband did finally with the media. I'm hoping that you can hear this. I don't hear it on my speakers here, but I'm hoping that you can hear the interview. Now, let me just throw you out a little tidbit of information about this interview. You notice his head was shaking no during the whole time. He'd say, "We hope to find you," and he'd shake his head. Okay, he said you couldn't hear the video. Let me play that again then and see if you can hear it. If I'm doing something here. Hold on 1 second for me. Pause this out. I don't know why you didn't hear the video. Okay. Well, I don't know why it didn't play. There's a video anyway. He's talking about how he missed his wife and how they offered this $200,000 reward. I'm going to go ahead and play it anyway, even though the volume apparently is out. But you can look to him. He's saying, "We miss you. We want you back." And the whole time he's shaking his head no. That might be just the way he talks, and it may just be unconsciously he may be saying no, we don't, or no, all this. Now I'm not saying that he is the suspect. I know that normally, when you're missing, your wife's missing from the area, that the husband is the first one that is the suspect. See if I can pop up a screenshot of her again. That's her there. And one more. No, that's the map. Okay. Somebody said that she was new at biking, and I want to toss this out too. They said that somebody said, well, she may have fell off her bike. I think her husband even said this. She may have fell off her bike and hit her head and wandered into the creek that was about 100 yards from where they found the bike. But if you look here, she's wearing a helmet. So she might not, if she fell off her bike, the helmet should have protected her head. Now I know they did find another article of hers a good bit away from there, and they did do an extensive search of that area. The police are not releasing that information now about what the article was. Her husband said they searched a 200-mile radius. I think that's exaggerating also. There's some rumors that the husband has said that he had a gun stolen from his house while he was in Denver, and I thought that was kind of weird. Also, that would, and he said he supposedly mentioned that he had an airtight alibi. I don't know why he would say those type of things. I know that he has hired an attorney, but I don't think that's a big deal. If he probably did that to handle the press and to handle the fact that if the police wanted to talk to him in any way or suspected him being a suspect, that you would have an attorney there. I mean, I would do that myself, even if completely innocent. I think that's just good advice. I just think that one thing, that he had no emotion. And when he talked to this Tyson Draper that he saw on the side of the road, he showed him a few things out there at the scene, but I never saw his head move like that when he was talking to him. And that may just be an unconscious effort or the way some people do, but I think it's really a telltale sign, in my opinion. But I'm sure the FBI and the Sheriff's Department and the California Bureau of Investigation is really looking into that. I'm wondering if they asked him to take a polygraph, and I'm wondering if he took a polygraph. That was one thing. I suggest you watch the video of Tyson Draper. He's done a lot of good reporting. And also Fox 21 News out in Denver, a Lauren Scharf, I think her name is. It's Scharf. She's done a tremendous lot of reporting, and she's talked to a lot of people. I know of recently that they interviewed a woman next to a job site of Barry, the husband, and she said she heard Mother's Day night. It sounded like tractors running near the place that they had just poured concrete. And said it was loud enough to wake her up, and the news reported this, and she said she finally got up to check it out and open the door, and the noise had stopped. But I know they said, and they have reported on the news, the FBI has done a pretty extensive search at that site where that house was being built. The man that is building the house is not believed to be involved at all, and that Barry had done, the husband Barry Morphew has actually done some work over there. So I know that they did a pretty extensive search, and that they have not, or at least they have not stated publicly about finding anything. It's been reported that the FBI and the Sheriff's Department has conducted another search warrant of the home, of the Suzanne and Barry's home. And to get another search warrant, you're going to need probable cause. You can't just go to the judge and say, hey, I want to go back out and check the house again. So I'm wondering what that probable cause was and where they got it from. There's information and rumors flying about everything. So this is one that we will follow. And like I said, this is our first broadcast, and we are going to do more on this particular missing person as things develop. However, next week we plan on moving on to another missing persons case out of Pensacola, Florida, that happened several years back, involving a girl that went missing down there. And if you watch this video later on and you think you want to be a part of it, help us solve some missing person cases, then please subscribe to the channel and plan to be here. We're going to try to do them every Friday night at 7 o'clock. So if we start to have some participation, maybe we'll figure some stuff out. I thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next week, or maybe even sooner. Thank you. Good night.